Ever figure out why it stopped uploading to Facebook?
No, I have not.
That's crazy.
I've got an idea of how to get it back on there, but I just need the time to make it happen.
I'm sitting here staring down the barrel of freaking
Staring
Kendrick
down
Bourne.
the barrel
Every time I don't
of
put Kendrick Bourne in a
45.
game, he scores a touchdown. Every single time.
Every time.
Which means he's got 16 touchdowns this
Yeah.
year. No, every time I look at him like,
he scored last week, didn't he?
I think he scored twice. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, dude, you're not even that good, Kendrick Bourne. Your mother doesn't even love you.
It's harsh.
You're a bully.
Harsh, yeah. You're being a bully.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time I heard that today.
Bully.
Don't you be a bully. Yeah, let's get through this
Yeah.
and talk some music.
Oh my God, that hurt.
All right, so no one has joined the live stream.
Probably because they don't want to hear me sneeze.
Arms is
Bauer.
dying.
Bauer, where you at?
Where you at, Bauer?
Where
you-
is Bauer?
Where you at, Bauer? Where you at? You know what I'm talking about?
Where you at, son? Where you at,
It's an old
son?
Kid Rock. Where you at, Rock? Where you at?
Let's just dive in.
I'm not that
We don't
old.
have anything concrete anyway, so 3, 2, 1. Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we talk the championship games, some of who has declared for the 2020 NFL Draft, and more coming up on the Back Row Fantasy Show starting now.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Brian Hucks.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. As usual, it is me, Bark, with Arms to my left
Good morning.
and Mr. Brian Hucks to my right.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
So we were discussing football's coming to a winding end. We're not ready for our free agents or rookies yet because there's still games going on, but we shall power through and talk about these games, talk about some college players that have entered the NFL arena, talk about maybe even the XFL on didn't they get they got a big TV deal.
I don't care.
Okay. And we'll just see where the episode goes. It might go off the rails here and there, but let's get right in.
I'm more worried about talking about the players that didn't declare because, I mean, this was shaping up to be... Sorry, good morning, as I normally say.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Mr. Hucks?
No, I'm good.
Okay, you're good. So, so what? We've got Hubbard who's staying, Etienne staying,
Yep. Najee Harris.
Najee Harris is staying. I mean, arguably 3 of the top at least 8 backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, like worst case scenario, 3 top 9-ish backs, all of which, I mean, maybe heaping a little bit of high praise on them. In most draft classes, all of those are potential first rounders. I mean, along with the ones that Dobbins, Swift, you see, Larry Edwards, who else?
The other guys.
Edwards, Hilaire.
The rest of them. The rest of them.
Anyhow, long story short, it's a great class, and it could have been that much better.
Could have been.
We talked about this earlier. You said Etienne. I mean, did you guys see on Facebook? Someone had shared. Barstool posted that he couldn't afford to take the pay cut to go to the NFL. Oh, that was beautiful.
Oh.
But I personally think that the reason he stayed is because he's not assured to be the number 1, 2, or 3 off the board, which could push him potentially, the way running backs are, and think about depth, potentially as late as early 3rd. I mean, that's possible.
no
I don't
chance.
think. I don't.
Nah, yeah.
chance.
no.
Okay, or all right. So let's say people are in love with Dobbins, Taylor, Swift, and
Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift.
Cam Akers.
I like
right?
Taylor as well.
4 running backs in the first 2 rounds. It's reasonable to say that that's all that goes within 2 rounds. If he gets pushed down 1 more, I mean, that's possibly the 3rd round. And I'm not saying he doesn't have the talent. He absolutely does.
Yeah.
But I think that this move was basically to assure him he's going to be one of the top 3 running backs off the board.
Honestly, I mean, I don't think he actually came out and said his reasoning, but I don't think it had anything to do with where he was going to land in the draft. I think it was he wants to win another title. He wants to get his degree.
What's he got to prove?
He wants to get his degree.
Oh, okay. Couldn't do that like
Smart
almost
kid.
like Cardell Jones did. You know,
Well, Cardell Jones knew he wasn't going to have a future in the NFL, so he had time.
dude's still playing football.
Is he?
Yeah.
Where's he at?
Yeah.
I think he declared for the XFL draft,
Oh.
but
Yeah.
he was on a roster to begin the season. So
Yeah, he was. And I mean, you got to think about some of these guys retiring early, like Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly
Yeah.
retires, and a lot of that has to do with longevity in the game. Maybe Etienne is thinking, I want to get everything out of the way before I go to the league, because my lifespan in the league could be short. So
I mean, average running back lifespan's 3 years.
yeah. So I mean, granted, he's probably a lock to play 5 to 7.
You're right.
if not more. But maybe he just wants to feel secure about his future and do all the walking from classroom to classroom before his knees hurt every day.
See, I think it's a solidifying a higher position in draft move myself.
Barring somebody
We'll find
jumping
out.
him this coming season next year, I mean, he's definitely the number one guy next year.
Najee?
I think.
You think? I mean, it's
to
fairly
me,
close.
He's number one to me.
Okay, I'll buy that. And I don't. You had him ranked as what, number
He
2
was number 2.
behind Dobbins?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of pick your flavor, right? Swift is more of I see him as kind of a Todd Gurley-ish type of guy, and I know he's from Georgia, but
Yeah.
that's not why. Like, the bigger can do a lot, whereas Dobbins is more that small, shifty, Maurice Jones-Drew-ish type player. I mean, almost
I like that.
not quite Saquon Barkley, but the same type of game that Saquon Barkley plays. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, the most generic comparison possible. He's like a slow-ish version of Melvin Gordon. And it's same school, but real hard runner. I think Edwards-Helaire and Etienne are very similar players, and I think they're both Ray Rice-ish. Would be solid in the league under the right situation, right?
Yeah.
But it's I think that he may realize he's not the flavor for every team, and it's possible to push him down, and that's where I figured that move came from.
Yeah, and maybe he does feel like he has more to prove. Maybe he is going to bring more of an arsenal of talents into the next year at Clemson. Who knows? But I mean, it definitely hurt the draft a little bit.
All-American and national champions.
Yeah,
pretty
I
good
know.
amount. You proved a lot, kid. Is what I'm thinking.
He did, but you never know what's on his mind. Maybe he feels like there's unfinished business, and maybe he feels like he left something on the field. So I don't know. It is crazy when a running back does not declare, especially one with
A first-round pedigree.
yeah, exactly.
He's definitely got the talent, and that's something I do want to make clear. I don't think he's not that good. I just think that there's so much depth it's possible to push him down.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no guarantee any of these running backs go in the first round.
Oh no! I mean, it's a
At all.
rarity.
Yeah.
Last year, there was 3, 4, but that doesn't happen all the time.
And there's no clear cut. There's no Fournette or Zeke in this draft. I mean, there's great guys that could be as good, but there's a handful of them. So different analysts have their different guy at the top. There's no consensus Saquon Barkley in this draft as far as running back goes. Like, some people would have said Etienne was the best. Some are going to say Dobbins. Some are going to say Swift. I'm sure a few would have said Taylor.
None of them are wrong yet, right?
No.
Because it depends on kind of running scheme. Where are you going to go? I mean, it doesn't matter. Any of these guys go to the Chiefs, they're a top 5 running back next year.
No, 100%.
And that doesn't matter whether it's one of the guys that would have stayed.
Yeah.
It's not like that. That makes a difference. Landing spot means a ton in the NFL.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, look at guys like Devin Singletary. Like, as much as we may have liked Devin Singletary going into the draft, I don't think anyone was looking at him as a 3-down back or a team's future at the position. I think it was more of a kind of regarded in the same light as Justice Hill. Like, this is going to be our change of pace for a while. Maybe he can work himself into a role. He was considered to be shifty and can make people miss, but not great acceleration and not that fast. He was kind of viewed that way, kind of Marlon Mack-ish, but he proved that he's more. So, I mean, who knows what we get out of this class?
I think I know I was a huge fan of Singletary's landing spot, just because they had a bunch of geriatrics patients.
That
You know
drove,
what I mean?
That drove him on up the list. But imagine he goes to, the Cardinals when they had David Johnson
Yeah.
and Chase Edmonds, even though it would have worked out for him. But if he went to a team like that or the Jags and they, nobody was drafting him in the first round if that was the case. But Bills with Frank Gore, first round pick in rookie dynasty.
We can
draft.
always look back to the Ryan Matthews draft. Right, Ryan Matthews replacing LaDainian Tomlinson at San Diego.
Yeah.
Like the guy was. Some people were picking him like quite literally first or second overall in startup drafts because he's taking over LT with that amazing
Right.
line and
Well,
that
and
amazing system.
He had the talent.
Yeah.
Injuries really derailed him.
He wasn't.
He put up some numbers. I mean,
I think he was like a 1,100 yard back.
yeah,
like,
injuries
peak.
definitely played their toll on him.
But
He could have been a lot more.
I don't know, man.
I think he could have.
He was also an entirely different back than what they were used to, which makes a huge difference.
Yeah, Ryan Matthews wasn't LT
No.
by any
Oh
means.
God, I mean,
But I think people expected him to be Melvin Gordon before they got Melvin Gordon.
yeah. No, you're right.
So
You're right.
It just didn't work out.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, or you're thinking Matthews. I was like, LT was putting up 1,800 yard seasons, but you're talking about Matthews. So.
Right.
Threw me off for a second. Sorry about that.
Dynasty Rob's joined the live stream. How's it going, guys? It's going good. Mr. Rob, our good friend that watches the show week in, week out, which we appreciate. He says at the end of the day, it's all about landing spot. And that's becoming the norm. He says there's not a ton of 3-down backs anymore. That's also correct, which I think more backs are capable than they're getting the chance
Yeah,
to display.
definitely.
You're right.
But teams aren't going to hand that over unless you are a Zeke or a Kareem Hunt. I can't believe I threw his name in there, but I did. They're not going to throw that at you unless you are obviously capable from the get-go. So we'll see. I am saddened that ETN is not in the draft because
Me too. I was excited for him.
Me too. And I have a number 5 pick overall in our league of record, and that kind of hurts me a little bit. I mean, I
he
might
wouldn't
have
have
been.
been
Huh?
I said he wouldn't have been there.
He wouldn't have, but someone else would have because
Right, yeah.
of him. And now I'm not going to know. I'm not going to get that.
You're
chance,
going to end up with the fourth receiver, which is probably going to be a first year All Pro. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, I'll take a chance on the second or third running back in the draft. I won't hesitate. Like,
I get it. My point is 4 running backs might be off the board, and you're going to end up
Right.
with a stud receiver. You
Yeah,
know what I
you're
mean?
gonna-
you're
you're
going to
gonna
be
get-
fine. This is still a great
Yeah,
draft class.
You're
yeah.
gonna get your pick of receiver.
but I would have liked ETN to
Right,
give me that guy I could get at 5
Oh, that's.
instead
I
of
mean, I
4.
have picked 3, and that's who I was picking was ETN because I'm assuming
Most likely would have been there.
Swift, Dobbins, 1-2, whichever
Yep.
way,
Yep.
and then
And I
So,
think that once again, it would be the right one either way.
Yeah.
Like, pick your poison.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, we should be able to. Picks 1 through 8 should probably be a slam dunk. So,
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an incredible draft for anyone who has a lot of draft capital. I mean, I'm not for trading the studs. I saw somebody had it. I mean, it was a ridiculous trade. It was like, I don't know all the names in it, but it was like Devontae Adams, Patrick Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, and Travis Kelce
God.
for all of the first rounders in 2020 and 21.
man.
I don't know if I could do it.
What do you mean all of them?
So if it's a 16-team league, 16 firsts in
Who
each
the hell
draft.
has 16 first
Someone who was tanking
in
for
both
the,
drafts? How's that even
I
happen?
just saw it on Twitter, guys.
It can be done.
It can be done.
It can be done.
I mean,
You,
just
you would have had to acquire most of those before 2019 started.
oh yeah,
But it can be done.
yeah. I mean, think about that. You trade away. Just for instance, who was in 2 years ago draft class was the hot name?
Saquon?
No, well,
I mean, it was suck for Saquon 2 years ago.
okay. So you say Saquon Barkley and Darius Guys. Let's say 2 guys have four picks apiece, and they're giving you 4 first rounders for pick 1 and pick 2. There you go. There's 8 of them.
Gotta take it.
Oh yeah.
Gotta take it.
yeah, I just. It's
No,
hard.
it would be very hard to do.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, if someone's coming at you, let's say it's 12-team league. All right, 12-team, it's easier to turn down, in my opinion. So we can't do that. Let's say it's a 16-team league. Someone comes at you with 32 first-round picks.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's.
What do you do? Do you say no? Or are you just like, listen,
That's
listen,
like
I'm
turning,
gonna,
that's like turning down 32 porn stars and just you in a hotel for one night only. You can't do that. You can't turn
But
it
it's-
down just
but
because you
it's-
won Alexis, Texas.
but it's
You can't turn that
4
down.
of the best players in the games. Because here's my thing. I look at those 4 players and I think, shoot, like I'm competitive no matter what else
Well,
I
yeah.
got. I may not win, but I'm competitive.
You're a bully.
So yeah, I'm a bully. So
We'll mention more about that later. But
anyhow, so moving on from that.
this is way off topic, but I do want to spend just a couple minutes with you guys on your thoughts about the McGregor Cowboy fight Saturday night.
I was going to stay with football. I was going to talk about the national championship.
Well, we will, and I only want to spend a couple minutes on this, but I want to point out my reason for talking about this. One, I'm a McGregor guy. I'm
I
a
am too.
fan. I love him, and I love him when he's one guy, and I still love him when he's the other. The presser was nothing but respect. No Conor
Which is-
McGregor hijinks
Because
at
he's
all.
going to get his ass kicked.
by,
Is why.
by Cowboy.
Yeah.
Think so?
I think
He's been
Cowboy
out of the
wins.
game for over a year. That's my problem. Cowboys, they're a real deal. Cowboys not a joke.
No, he's not a joke at all. But I mean, McGregor's faced guys that aren't a joke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but in practice, you know what I mean? As he's fighting, fairly consistently, he's facing those guys. Dude's not had a fight in a year. You can't.
I'm going with McGregor still, but
You can't replicate sparring with real life action.
no, I get that. But Conor McGregor's he's one of those guys.
I love Conor
would never-
McGregor, and
Me too.
I hope he wins. I want to clarify. I really do.
I like them both, and I hope
I do
Conor
too.
wins too. But I won't be upset. Like that's what I loved about the presser, like the respect they have, and the fact that Conor has either finally met an opponent that he respects, or has he grown up a little bit. I don't know. I love both McGregors.
I think he doesn't want the hate coming towards him from a guy like Cerrone.
well, they like
Is-
each other.
isn't-
There's clips of them talking.
Isn't
over
this
the
like
years.
I don't follow UFC admittedly. Isn't he like a weight class or 2 up?
Yeah.
If he's 2 weight classes up, like that's not a good place to be for a guy like him.
That's why I love McGregor. He will fight anyone, anywhere, at any time. That's why I love him. Like he will take on any fight. He was talking about not Mayweather, but who's the other? Pacquiao. I mean, that's in the works. He's in the works to fight Manny Pacquiao. I know
yeah,
it's
it's all
about
about
money,
money.
but he's also not afraid to lose.
Let me also tell you, like, and I know it's going to sound stupid because Pacquiao is one of the best fighters in history, but I think that'll actually be a more entertaining fight
I agree.
because I think they'll won't be afraid to exchange. Whereas Mayweather's beauty was in his evasion.
Yeah.
Pacquiao will take a punch to the face to punch you in the face.
Yeah, and McGregor's power is pretty impressive. So I hope it happens, and I'm excited about the fight. I just wanted to bring it up real quick, just because it has been a while since McGregor fought, and Cowboy is one of those consistently underrated guys. It's a really good matchup.
He's always like the second from the top rung on the
Yeah,
ladder.
he's always like next up to be the contender, not the contender.
Yeah,
and
so-
that guy's as cool as they come. Like that's a cool guy.
Well, I mean, he's got. I just found this out the other day. I didn't realize it. He has the wins record in the UFC.
He's been
Didn't-
around
Like
a while.
20, I think 22 wins.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, ahead of Bones Jones and a couple other guys like that. Like he's legit. He's great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's also fought like 50 times. You know what I mean? Not all in the UFC, of course, but I think that the being out of practice problem is the problem. It's just like going through basketball practice, football practice. It's just not the same. Game speed's different.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the national championship game, the coronation of Joe Burrow.
It was worrisome if you were a Burrow fan through about 2.5 quarters. It was worrisome. Not worrisome because they were down. I mean, they were up at halftime, I believe, but it was worrisome because you thought this could go either way, and then all of a sudden, no, it wasn't going either way.
So, what he was? I mean, the first quarter was literally the longest quarter I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking straight PlayStation quarters. Is like 3 and out because every damn play was a pass, incomplete pass. It's like this is horrible. But I mean, picked it up, finishes the game with 463 yards, 5 touchdowns. I think he now finished the season averaging over 400 yards a game.
It's what he's done all season.
Like the kid's incredible.
He did have the jitters at first, but I would rather see him have the jitters and overcome them than just come out and not have the jitters at all. Like Joe Burrow's an impressive guy.
Yeah, that was. I didn't get to watch the whole entire game, but I watched the first half, and them throws he made in the second quarter to Chase was damn impressive.
The ball almost stops in midair and then finds the receiver and then heat seeks towards him. His deep ball is really something we haven't seen for a long time. I haven't seen a deep ball like that since Marino.
I was listening to First Take, which is McShay and Kuiper, and they're talking about, is pro ready, blah, blah. And then McShay had the nerve to say he doesn't have an elite arm. And I'm like, okay, maybe he can't throw it 80 yards from his knees. I get that. But the kid's got the best touch I've ever seen a college quarterback have. Now, he's only done it for one season. Last year he had some questionable throws, some throws that I admittedly said to begin the season, straight up, I love Joe Burrow because proximity from where he's from, 20 miles down the road. But I didn't think he was necessarily going to be drafted. I thought 5th round or later if he got drafted.
Yeah.
Because last year what I watched is like him just over SEC, the Mississippi State linebacker, someone who's not incredibly impressive, just glide it just right over his hands. I'm like, man, like C.J. Mosley's picking that off. Like an elite level talent in the NFL is picking that off. This year, it's entirely different. Like he's just dropping dimes all over the place, and as soon as it releases, you're like, touchdown. Like you just know.
Dropping dimes like Kevin Love.
I've never seen anybody progress from one year to the next like the way he did.
I mean, Kuiper said he's been doing this for like 42 years, some ridiculous amount. He said this is the biggest leap he's ever seen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, he had one for the ages. Coming off one that was not for the ages. It's impressive.
12 touchdowns in 2 games.
Yeah.
That's against
He finished like 60 this year or something.
The 4th and 3rd ranked team in the country.
Yeah. He played good competition.
Yeah, he finished, I think, with 60 or 61, which beat, of all people, Colt Brennan, who played in the Mountain West with Hawaii.
Hawaii was a high-flying offense then.
Yeah, they were playing in the Mountain West, though. You know what I mean?
No, I get that. I'm not going to bat for Colt Brennan as a NFL guy,
Yeah,
but college, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That June Jones offense, I believe it was. But, like, their best competition was Utah and Boise State, which is solid competition, but they were far and away their best. And this guy's beating up Alabama, beating up Georgia.
Yeah.
If you look at the last 4 or 5 games of the season, he played 5 top 4 teams. Like Bama was 4, Georgia was 4, Oklahoma was 4, and Clemson was 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen someone put through a gauntlet like that, and just that. I'm sorry, it's just the most amazing run I've ever seen. Now I'm going to tell you, I've said it before. We might look back and say that this is the best college team that's ever stepped foot on the field.
It's up there. I mean, you can't not say that right now.
So. And I'm thinking, look forward at draft classes, because we didn't know Miami was as special as they are in the early 2000s until we look back. It's like,
At the draft class, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait, they had 11 All-Pros on defense? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And they had, 3 All-Pro running backs? Okay.
That explains everything.
So, anyhow, number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
Hands down?
Yeah. I mean, hands down because
whether it's Cincinnati or somebody trades up, it's going to be Burrow.
Was it you I got into that said Trevor Lawrence is that much better?
Probably.
Okay. Do you change your mind now?
No.
You still think Trevor Lawrence is leaps and bounds? He
I
had
didn't say leaps
he
and
had
bounds,
no
but I never did.
touchdowns, right?
I never said he was
In the national championship game, he threw for no touchdowns.
I prefer him as a prospect going to the NFL.
Okay. I mean, I don't think Burrow had any games no touchdowns, but okay.
I got to side with the Hucks a little. I mean, I like Burrow a lot, and I don't think Trevor Lawrence is better than Burrow. So I'm not saying that, but
I think it's close, but I don't.
But to project,
last time I believe you said it's not close.
To project as a prospect, like if you like, one is a better prospect than the other. We've seen guys have a great 1 year and just do piss in the NFL.
Oh,
I don't think that's Burrow, but I can't predict the future.
Right.
So, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, when he comes out, he's going to be exciting. Patrick Mahomes, what? How many quarterbacks are taken ahead of Mahomes? 2, 3? It's just crazy.
by the way, I guess I kind of missed a little bit. I thought Bama was one of their last games. They played 3 teams between Bama and Georgia. But anyhow, sorry.
Yeah.
But that's how uneventful those games were. Like, you just didn't realize it.
Are you guys as excited as I am? No matter what happens, the Super Bowl is going to have two of these 4 teams. The Titans, the Chiefs, 2 of which, how long has it been since either one of those teams were in the Super Bowl?
1995.
99.
Is it 99?
Titans Rams was the last time the Titans,
last
I
time
think.
Titans.
And that was a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And
2000. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you
99
mean. The
season,
99
yeah.
season.
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier. Now I guess Eddie George got drafted in 95.
I don't know. I just know it was 20 years ago. The Music City Miracle.
Okay.
yeah, it was a long
Gotcha,
time.
gotcha.
And the Chiefs even longer, right?
Yes.
Have the Chiefs made the Super Bowl since like
Super Bowl 1, 2?
Yeah,
or
like-
wasn't that? It's been a long time since the
I
Chiefs made a
think,
Super Bowl.
let's see.
They didn't go in.
they didn't go with Montana.
They didn't go with
and-
Montana.
and Marcus Allen.
They didn't go in the
Oh
80s.
yeah, oh yeah. It's been a long,
Like,
long
like 1963?
time.
7, 68,
70.
70. Was it Super
70.
Bowl 4? 3? Super Bowl 3 or 4?
Who did they play against?
Doesn't exactly say, but
Or did they just play in the NFL
they,
championship?
they beat the Vikings Super Bowl 4.
Okay.
So
They've been to 2 because they went Super Bowl 1 against Green Bay.
yeah,
And then they beat,
and
which they
then
lost.
and then we've got the Packers and the Niners, which are the Packers the most recent to go to a Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, no, Niners Ravens.
Niners went the year after the Packers did.
Okay. So still a long time, right?
Packers 2011, I believe, and then Niners 2012.
I think you're right.
Gotcha. So I mean,
Yeah.
7 years. We haven't seen any of these teams for 7 years. Some of them we haven't seen for 50 years.
In the grand scheme of things, the only one that resembles itself at this point is the Packers.
Packers, yeah.
'Cause-
That's the only one I just don't want to see in the Super Bowl, really.
I agree with you 100%. I have nothing against the Packers.
No, I just don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in a Super. I want to see Garoppolo, Tannehill, or Mahomes, Derrick Henry.
I would love to see Derrick Henry Super Bowl, but I really want to see Andy Reid get one.
I
Yeah,
really want to see the Titans get there and win it.
I want to see a Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl.
That would be
That's
great.
what I'm-
Offense versus
Yeah.
defense.
That's
But
what I want to see.
if the Titans happen to pull the upset again, I mean, how exciting is it going to be, that story going into the Super Bowl?
I mean, the most dominant run game versus the most dominant run defense.
Yeah.
Or
I know you just got done talking about LSU's impressive run in the year against, but if the Titans pull off this, they would have beat, the division champs week 17, and then division Patriots, Baltimore,
Chiefs.
all the division
They
champs,
literally,
they
what,
knocked off everybody, all the top
4
seeds.
consecutive
Yeah.
Super Bowl favorites if they do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
Here's a comment to which I have a funny response. Dynasty Rob said, did you guys already talk about Jason Garrett going to New York?
No, I just saw that right before I got here.
I said not yet, and I also said not sure we were going to.
I wasn't going to mention it.
So
I
yeah,
think it's
Chiefs,
I think it's a
Titans,
good hire, but
Packers, Niners. Yeah, it's a good hire, but I don't know.
I think he's better suited for that role than he is as a head coach.
yeah, I think it's a good hire for a rookie head coach. Bring him on his staff. So
And
Rookie head coach don't work out, but the offense does. Look at that, Jason Garrett, head coach of the Giants, 2022.
it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, wouldn't shock anybody.
Now, let's also realize, do you think part of this has to do with a little bit of corporate espionage? It's like, oh, yeah, no, I can tell you every strength and weakness from every player
yeah.
on the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely going to be
Does
helpful.
Jason Garrett know the strengths and weaknesses of the Dallas Cowboys?
He might not.
You can't.
He may not.
That organization's been hamstrung by Jerry Jones more than it has by Jason Garrett.
Don't disagree with that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I agree with you.
But
And I don't think
it was
Garrett's great by
time to
any
go.
stretch.
No.
You know what I mean? But it's like, Jones make some better personnel decisions at times and
I agree.
spend
but
money
man,
on people who aren't like women abusers. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to take a chance. Take a chance on, a guy who came off a knee injury, not a guy who beat up his chick. So
I don't know.
Who's our? Let's do some game calls. So, who's it going to be? Who does win these games and why? Hux, we'll start with you. Who wins these games and why?
I can tell you who I think's going to win. I don't know if I can tell you why, but I'm going with Chiefs Niners, like I said a minute ago. Chiefs at home. I know that Titans beat them back in Week 10. Derrick Henry, they're going to have to stop Derrick Henry, which nobody's been able to do lately.
Yeah, and the Chiefs
And
aren't
just-
exactly set up to
No,
stop
I mean,
Derrick
they're-
Henry.
no.
The
it's gonna-
24th ranked run defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Derrick Henry could.
I mean,
It just depends. This game completely depends on which Patty Mahomes shows up.
well, I mean, even then, I mean, look, when they played in Week 10, it was his first game back, but he passed for, I don't know numbers, but it was like 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and they still lost 35-32.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Patrick Mahomes is almost in that situation that Peyton Manning was always in. You are an elite quarterback, and with elite options as far as getting the ball out of your hands. Unfortunately, you're going right back on the field because the other team's scoring.
yeah, and that's, I mean, I think the Chiefs win by double digits. I mean, they're favored by 7. The over-under is 53, so they're expecting a high-scoring game. But I don't know. I think the Chiefs are on a roll. They've won like 6 or 7 in a row, I believe. And I think
I
it's
know
gonna be
they
like-
struggled at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but I mean, they're putting it together.
Not
I
versus
mean,
what we were expecting. You know what I mean?
right.
I think people were expecting like a 10-win start, and what they start like 8-5. It was nothing crazy. I think the Chiefs, but I think it comes down to Andy Reid being the most experienced coach. Right now, he's the most experienced coach in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Vrabel kind of, he's here for the first time. Not saying that he's not done a great job because he has, literally making me my words.
Really,
on-
the other 3 coaches are kind of here because you got Kyle Shanahan, Vrabel, LaFleur.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they're all fairly new to this.
So now you got the
Coaching-wise, they're
the
new.
elder statesman
Yeah.
by 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Reed has the game plan. And listen, I don't think it's going to be an easy task to stop Derrick Henry, but I'm comfortable if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs saying, all right, listen, Dolphins cast off. You got to beat me. Ryan Tannehill can, but that's who I'm going to
That's
make.
debatable,
That's
I
who I'm
think.
going to make beat me. I put Ryan Tannehill, you're going to beat me, and the way you're going to do it is by passing touchdowns to Tajay Sharp, Corey Davis, and Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna lock down AJ Brown, and I'm going to put 8 men in the box to stop Derrick Henry. I'll go 1-on-1. The only receiver you
It's the best plan.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
you-
not sure AJ Brown's uncoverable by any stretch of the imagination.
Not yet.
So, like 8 in the box, man up on everybody else. You can do it. Now,
You can do
you
it.
might have to if Johnny Smith's coming out, in a route. Okay, cover him, but you can do that with an outside linebacker.
Truth. What about Packers Niners?
I think it's Niners.
Yeah, I'm going with Niners.
Me too. I don't think there's. I don't think the Packers have enough on offense
Yeah,
to get it done.
I think
Yeah, 'cause
that.
I mean, when they played back in Week 12, 37-8, and I mean Sherman can contain Devontae Adams, and the Packers don't have anything else on the passing game.
I mean,
And then-
it was a smacking.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolute.
I know
mad
that was-
beatdown.
I will say
That was one of my decent wins picking the Niners defense
Yeah.
as a captain.
Yeah, I will say, I'm picking the Titans over the Chiefs just because I'm all bought into the magical run. I picked the Niners over the Packers for the reasons we just talked about. But if you're betting money, go against me because last week I called the Vikings over the Niners, I called the Ravens over the Titans, I called the Texans over the Chiefs, and I called the Seahawks over the Packers. I was 0 for 4.
0 for 4.
So if you're betting this weekend, go against me.
I have no idea what I even called
I
that.
was
You
over-
will probably win money.
I was 0 for 4 2 weeks ago, so
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was last week.
I whiffed on every single game.
I think I went 2-2 last week.
So bet against me.
I-
That's not a challenge. It's advice.
One thing I'll say is with the Niners, the people who are giving them good games, like as far as with high scores, really good teams. The Saints gave them a great game. That's a great team. The Seahawks, a great team. The they're a damn fine organization right now. I mean, it's the turnaround that Shanahan had, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't think he was going to do it. I always knew he was an offensive guru. Little did we know that he was going to, get the right guy to start playing calling plays for that defense.
Yeah, the defense is outstanding, and they're healthy again. And
I thought he was capable. I didn't think it'd be this soon.
I think it's going to be a close game. Don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be a much closer game than when they played before. Single digit. It could come down to a last second. I think it really going to be under a touchdown score. So Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to keep him in it to the end.
I'll tell you, like, if we always talk about DFS, we have a lot recently, and we'll get on that here in a second, but the 49ers defense is my play in this. I think that defense is good enough. I mean, they showed it before. It's hard to beat people twice. I get that. But they can lock down an Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Right? Now, good luck finding out which 49ers running back is going to run for 100 yards this week.
And that's why I think the defense is a good play, because besides maybe Kittle, I don't think there's no other guy that you like.
I like Kittle and Debo.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if I like Debo
Samuel
as the captain.
Debo?
I don't like
Debo
Debo
Samuel.
as the captain, but
No, yeah,
captain-wise, it's either
gotcha.
Kittle or the defense, which I'd lean the defense.
You go the defense. So I just throwing. Sorry to getting into this already, but
No, go ahead.
I went 49ers
I'm
defense. I got Kittle, Garoppolo, Debo, Robbie Gould, Aaron Jones, and that's just like my first stab at it.
Perfect place to do it.
I feel like I can kind of pivot off of Aaron Jones. You can go Emmanuel Sanders, Tevin Coleman. Like if I was going to do it, what I might run is the same lineup 3 different times, but put Coleman in once, Mostert in once, and Breida in once. Like, not even exaggerating, because I'm not sure Aaron Jones is any sort of a play this week.
Yeah, I'm with you on
he
that.
kind of always gets his, it seems like, but man, I don't think they have to focus on Aaron Jones to stop Aaron Jones.
I don't know.
And Quan Alexander's playing. He's back.
I literally just threw this together in 8 seconds. So, okay, like I said, I think it's going to be a close game. 27-24 type deal, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Niners in the captain. I'm playing the Packers defense also. And then I got Garoppolo, Kittle, and Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams.
I've yet to play any lineups, but
So,
I'm glad. I'm glad you guys went DFS
Heck,
right there.
I
There's
just
nothing
realized with Niners as my captain, if I go Kittle, Garoppolo, Debo, and Gould, I could literally put anybody else in. Adams, Rodgers, anybody else will fit. Like, I was going Aaron Jones because I'm like, man, he's dominant. Then I'm like, wait a second, what am I doing? Why?
Yeah.
Devontae Adams kind of, for me, is probably the more chalk play because he might get 10 catches for 100 yards.
Plus, if you think the Niners are going to win, they're probably going to be playing from behind and be throwing the ball. So, yeah, I like it.
There you go. DFS picks, all 4 games covered. What else before we end a short version of the Back Row Fantasy Show tonight?
I'm just going to throw out a couple of the other ones. With the Chiefs-Titans game, hard to really pay up for anybody because there's some kind of premier players with premier prices. So I went with the Chiefs as my captain as well. I know it's a ballsy play because Derrick Henry could easily take over that game, but my thought process is they're going to try to make Ryan Tannehill beat them. So that could come away with some sacks, come away with some interceptions. So if you do that, you can squeeze in King Henry, Mahomes, Kelsey, and then both kickers. I mean, that's a lot of talent stuffed in there, and grabbing 2 kickers as well.
I think it's a great play because if this game goes the way a lot of people think it's going to go, and Mahomes gets the Chiefs up on the Titans quick, that's when the Titans will make mistakes, and that'll translate to defensive points for the Chiefs.
And you can also pivot off of Henry and go to A.J. Brown easily, or Henry to Tyreek Hill. Like, Henry's so expensive that you can have any other player if you pivot off of him.
Right.
So, as far as do you have any on either of those games you want to talk about?
I'm looking at a lineup right now. I haven't put together anything I actually like.
So in the 2,
I like Tyreek Hill as captain, but I know he's expensive.
yeah, that's so hard. That's my problem is his price. So if you go Tyreek Hill, you almost have to find a way to get Mahomes in there, right?
I do. Yeah.
And then what else are you looking at that point? And
Just this. I mean, I don't really care for what I have, but I got the Chiefs defense, Mahomes, A.J. Brown, Ferkser, and Damian Williams.
Okay. I don't mind that. Ferkser is either
Yeah,
he's
nothing, or he
upper
might get
8
6.
points or nothing. Yeah. 10-yard touchdown.
But he's only 600, so
Yeah.
I mean that's
Right.
cheap.
But definitely pays off in a situation like that.
Yeah.
He has a decent game, and you banked.
Exactly. I mean, especially if
Don't
you,
have to be big.
especially if you've got the right captain.
Right.
You know, last week there was, I don't even remember who the two captains were, but there were like 60-some points apiece, and it was ridiculous. As far as the matchups, I'm going cheap on the quarterback both times with I've got two different lineups. One of them's got Tannehill, one of them's got Garoppolo. Like, I think those are the best two options at quarterback this week. I don't really like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just for me, it's not the right play. And Mahomes is so darn expensive.
Yeah.
So,
And the Titans, you just never know.
Yeah.
The Titans might shut him down for the most part.
one thing
It is possible.
I stayed consistent on both of my lineups. I have the 49ers defense. Both of my lineups, the three receivers I got are Debo, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis. I was able to get Kittle into each one of them. One of them I've got Hill, and the other one I got Williams. So one lineup's Tannehill, Damian Williams, Aaron Jones. Those three receivers I discussed. Kittle, Hill, Niners. The other one's Jimmy G, Derrick Henry, Tevin Coleman, Debo, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, Kittle, Damian Williams, and back to the Niners. So
Like it.
I know I'm throwing out a lot of words real quick. but
Words.
That was hard to keep.
I know, I'm sorry for that.
Hux, any last lineups before we sign off on what was the quickest 40 minutes of our lives?
No, I'm not a full lineup, but in the actual the classic, the two games, I like Mahomes. I don't mind even playing the Titans defense with the Chiefs like offense. I mean, because they can get some
Couple sacks,
couple sacks,
one pick six
one
makes the
pick
difference. in
six,
the
fumble
world.
recovery, touchdown, anything.
Right.
Those
Plus, they're cheap. I mean, they're the cheapest. So
the mobile quarterbacks are great to play against, and that's the reason I'm going with the Niners. Like, more mobility, more likely to get sacked, more likely to have a fumble, forced fumble recovery, return for touchdown, things like that. So,
Don't hate it.
all right,
All right. There it is. The fastest. Is this the quickest macro show ever?
Who's the Super Bowl champion?
Oh,
Chiefs.
man. Titans.
I want to go Chiefs, but I think the Niners are the best team left.
I'm going way. I don't even really believe my pick, but I want to believe. I want to believe the Titans. I want to believe King Henry is the story of the offseason.
yeah, I don't want to think about it.
I'll buy it.
I still hold a grudge from the Music City Miracle 20 years ago, man.
Oh, good Lord.
I can't help it, man.
Poor baby.
I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah,
I'm a Bills fan.
I get it.
I hate them.
I understand. I hate the Patriots. I hate
Yeah.
the Jets, and
Yeah.
I don't hate the Bills as much as those other teams, but
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
like them.
I mean, you can't,
Makes sense,
I mean,
yeah.
the Bills have sucked for so many years. I mean, why hate them? They're terrible. I mean,
Yeah. Same
so,
with
I mean,
Miami.
exactly.
Do you hate
I
Miami?
don't hate Miami.
There you go.
Same with the
But I
Raiders.
hate the Patriots.
How can you
Yeah.
hate someone that's not a threat?
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
not a threat.
in hindsight, it's like, why are people listening to us? We have terrible taste in football.
Yeah,
like,
we do.
historically, we're all right, but gosh.
Listen, some of the best analysts out there love the crappy teams because
Oh.
that's who they. Ow!
Sorry. Speaking of crappy analysts,
Bully.
Bully.
Stephen A. Hushmanzada.
Oh God.
Oh my
you
God,
see
saying
that?
DJ Moore's basically trash.
He's
He's
What's
like,
he done? Nothing.
Look at their first rounders. All right, Christian
DJ.
McCaffrey, and DJ Moore, nothing.
Nothing.
Curtis Samuel, nothing. I'm like, A, Curtis Samuel's a second rounder. B, DJ Moore had like 1,200 yards in 15 games this year. Like,
DJ Moore was really, really good this year, but Stephen A. Smith don't know that.
no, Stephen A. Hushmanzada.
It was TJ Hushman.
It was TJ Hushman. The reason I said Stephen A. Hushmanzada
I'm
is,
Yeah.
sorry.
but that's the point.
Right.
Obviously, you don't freaking watch football. You know what I mean? TJ, Stephen A., it doesn't matter. You're both terrible
Who
analysts.
the heck does TJ analyze for?
I don't even know. I think he was on like First Take or something.
Yes, it was on ESPN. I'm pretty sure.
Good Lord.
Just grasping at straws whenever you're. We are available.
I mean, yeah.
We
just
are
'cause you're-
available, and you're taking TJ Hushmanzada. That
Just
dude
because
doesn't
you
even know what he's
played
doing.
football doesn't mean you can talk football.
Basically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he looks like the great Khali's little brother.
I mean, is Frank Gore going to be an analyst after this?
I mean, I don't. He could be.
Dude, I'm not sure that Frank Gore's he's taking a lot of collisions.
Frank Gore's never been much for words, anyways.
Yeah, just
Has he come out and said he's retiring yet? Is he going to keep playing?
No, I've not heard.
Did you guys-
I'm sure he'll be back.
Did you guys see the thing on Facebook? It was like Antonio Gates retires, Luke Kuechly retires, and Larry
Yeah.
Fitzgerald's like, wait, we can do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
All right, I'm done.
All right. Thanks for joining us for another episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick commute version of the Back Row Fantasy Show. And again, follow us at the Back Row Show. You can also check us out on YouTube. We have a Back Row Fantasy Show channel there. We have a friggin' reaction channel where we react to new music and music that's requested. That's on YouTube at Back Row Reacts. And there you go. You want to see more of us, hear more of us, there's content out there. By all means, reach out to us, talk to us. We always respond. We love the people.
If you don't mind, as listeners, if you have a player, maybe kind of not one of the big names, you want some additional information on, like for us to look at some film on, let us know. I mean, we're all about kind of trying to find the smaller guy that nobody's ever heard of. So if you got a local team, shoot, tell us who your guy is, and we'll try to get some film on it. I'll be honest with you, if we think it's garbage, we're probably not going to talk about him.
Yeah, and if you're a Mac
Or
Miller
we'll
fan,
just tell you he's garbage.
if
Yeah.
you're a Mac Miller fan, it's not what you're going to want to hear. So there you go. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you next time.
Good night.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.